Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody class today. My name is Skyla Ramirez, and I'll be your instructor for about the next hour. To begin, I'd like to encourage you to grab a blanket or a pillow, and you can either lie down on the floor on your back or have a seat. We are going to practice some breathing in our opening today. So as you get comfortable, just start to notice where the breath is in the body, knowing that we're going to let go of any judgment as to how we're breathing. Instead, we're simply working with the art of observation. Is it possible for us to watch the breath without trying to change it? So sometimes this can be the hardest or most challenging practice in yoga, is for us to become aware of the breath, something that happens autonomically. We breathe, right, all day and we don't have to think about it. But as soon as we witness the breath, there is some sort of subconscious part of the mind that wants to control it. So we're going to mindfully let go of that, maybe that instinct to control. And in this practice, as we relinquish that instinct to control, as we become the witness to the breath, that can help us in everyday life. If we find ourselves trying to control situations, this can help us to sit back and to witness what's going on. And then in essence, eliminate stress, because trying to control things is very stressful. So as you witness the breath, you may want to try feeling the breath in a better way to witness it. You can put the hands on your belly, or maybe a hand on your chest and one on your stomach. And maybe witness the breath by feeling it. So as you inhale, feel the breath approaching you. The breath is moving towards your body from a point about 1 foot from the tip of your nose. And we inhale in through the nostrils as much as possible. And then just feel how the body responds to the breath. As the breath moves into the lungs, it might just sort of burrow itself in the belly. It might stop in the chest. You may even notice that the breath moves into parts of your back and along the sides of your spine. Again, remembering there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong way to breathe right now. Simply feeling for the breath, feeling for its presence in our body. Shifting from feeling the breath, we may want to try to see the breath, visualize the breath. Feel yourself immersed in a shimmering, vaporescent white light. And as you inhale, maybe have a vision of yourself drawing this energy, drawing this white light into your body, and watch where the breath goes. Where is its natural path with the least resistance? Sometimes all on its own, the breath reveals itself to us in a different color. And maybe we don't see it. That's okay. That comes in time. Now maybe we listen for the breath. Perhaps the breath having its own voice. Perhaps we notice that the breath comes with a sound. As you inhale, in the mind, generating the sound ah. Inhaling, hearing the sound ah. And then exhaling, hearing the sound ta. Inhaling ah, exhaling ta. So we have the breath's character is created through sensation, through sight, through sound. And maybe beyond the five senses, maybe there's just this intuitive presence of the life force of the breath. As we inhale, maybe we don't feel it, see it, or hear it, but there's a knowing of its presence. So we just breathe in and breathe out. At any point, as we begin to introduce different movements in the class, remember that as long as you're breathing, you're doing yoga. All things that exist on the physical plane of consciousness, all of our body, all that we see, all that we feel, it all begins with the breath, the life force. So always bring it back to the breath. Move in any natural way, apart from anything that I teach. Do what feels right for your body, and you can change your mind at any time. Breathing, feeling, listening to the body. We commit to our practice and we commit to stay in the present moment. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath. To get started with our physical movement, let's all take our time and make our way down to the floor, lying on our backs. From seated, one of the safer ways to lie down on the floor is to first come into a seated position with your knees over to one side. From this side seated position, we can lie down on our side and maybe use the arm under you as a pillow just for a moment to get stable. If you don't have that pillow already, you could use it now. From here, we slowly use our feet to bring ourselves into lying on our backs, positioning your low back and hips so that they're comfortable on the floor. From here, let's take our arms out to the side, palms up or down, and let those knees sway left and right. Absolutely no rush with this. We just want to gently begin opening up the low back, opening up the hips, adding in a breath that matches the movement. We inhale through center and exhale as the knees go over to one side. The inhale and the exhale can be really any way that keeps you breathing, any way that keeps it easy for your body. If you're looking to maybe shape the breath today, inhale through your nose, exhale from the throat, and keep your lips together. This is called Ujjayi. It's a breath to help warm the body. Inhaling through the nose, exhale from the throat as if you're going to say ha, or as if you're going to follow the mirror, but keep your lips together. In children's yoga, we call this the scuba diver breath or the Darth Vader breath. When we exhale, keeping the lips closed, this can create almost like a hollow effect, similar to the sound you get when we hold a seashell up to our ear. Let's do a couple more to each side. Take your time, even it up on left and right with that twist. When you're ready, let both knees go over to the right side of your mat. Let's take both of our hands and take them over to the left, looking over your left shoulder. When you're ready, bring both arms out to a T, arms neutral. Let's bring the knees to center. Both knees go over to the left. Let's turn our head to the right and then bring the left arm over. Both arms reaching to the right while the knees are twisted to the left. And just breathe easy, about 3 to 5 breaths here. When you're ready, let's take both arms out, bringing the knees to center once more. Let's hug just the right knee into the chest and we'll hold on behind the thigh. Go ahead and point and flex the right foot, warming up the ankle, stretching the calf and tendons around the ankle a little bit. When you're ready, roll that ankle out. From here, let's slowly set the right foot down, drawing the left knee in, holding on behind the thigh. We point and flex that toe a few times. And now roll out the ankle. When you're ready, setting the left foot down. Let's step our feet out to the width of the hips and place the palms down on the floor beside your hips. You could also hold on to the edges of your mat. Sometimes this feels a little more secure before we start moving. As we inhale, we're pressing into the feet and slowly lifting our tailbone and hips away from the floor. Exhale, slowly lowering the hips. Bridge flow. Let's try maybe 6 to 8 of these. Inhale, tucking the tailbone under, pushing into our feet. We lift the hips and then exhale, slowly relax. Matching our movement to the breath. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat. At any time, naturally, if you want to open the mouth and just let that breath go, you can most certainly do that. This can help to relieve a lot of tension and stress in the jaw. Let's do one more. Inhaling, lifting the hips, and exhaling to lower. Easy does it. Let's let those knees sway just a tiny bit again, just unlocking any energy that may have started to move around in the hips. From here, let's slowly take our arms overhead. Knees are still. We're reaching with the palms up. We could always bend the elbows if there's any pain in your shoulders. Reaching dynamically from here, let's bring our left knee in towards the chest and reach across with your right arm to pull that left knee in. From here, set the left foot down, bring the right arm overhead, drawing the right knee in, bringing that left hand on top of your shin or maybe close to the knee. We're gently guiding the knee towards the chest, not necessarily pulling or putting any pressure on the leg. From here, we release, left arm overhead, exhale, left knee in, right arm across. Inhale, release. Right leg in, left arm across. Release. One more to each side. Left knee in, right arm across. Relax. Right knee in, left arm across. And now relax. From here, we may want to stretch one or both legs out on the floor, creating a stick, stretching from the fingers and pointing the toes. We're creating as much length in the front of our body as possible. Big inhale, reach and point the toes. When you're ready, exhale, relax the whole body. Let's bend our knees and go ahead and roll over onto one side. Let your body pick which side is more comfortable. From here, we're just drawing the knees in for a moment, curling up into a sleeping child position on our sides. From here, focus on breathing into the back of your lungs. Breathe down into the low back, through the middle back, and behind the shoulder blades. So before we stand up and start doing a lot of movement with the muscles in the back, we're using the breath, the way that it expands the lungs. We're using the expansion of the lungs to gently stretch and open the ribs and some of the other muscles that are deep by the spine. This is helping to reduce injury to the body. Inhaling into the low back, middle back, inhaling into the space behind your heart and under the shoulder blades. Exhale, relax the shoulders, the ribs, and the low back. One more like this. From here, let's notice where our top hand is, and we'll use that hand to press down into the floor, coming up maybe just halfway at first. This way our blood pressure has time to stabilize. When you're ready, you can come around to all fours. So maybe we come into all fours on the hands and knees, preparing for a cat and a cow flow. Or you can make a fist with your thumbs forward. This is more of a neutral wrist position. Or you can come down to your elbows. And for those of you who've maybe done classes with me before, just a little reminder, you can always elevate your elbows. So some of you probably already have a chair or some yoga blocks that you can put under your arms. These can be really helpful in the practice. So let's create our foundation so that we're able to initiate cat and cow with our breath. When you're ready, when your body feels ready for this, inhale, push the hips back, drop the belly and look forward just a little bit, cow pose. On the exhale, pull the hips in, round the spine, press into your hands or elbows or fists into cat. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, finding cow pose. Exhaling, rounding the spine to find cat. Let's move through maybe about 3 to 5 more. Finding our own breath inspires every movement. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat. We could always let it go with the mouth open. Nice big sigh to release tension in the jaw. Maybe even releasing tension in the back. Maybe just one more set. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. From here, let's find all fours position for the body. Tucking our left toe under. We're keeping our left foot flat for the next few movements. From here, we're lifting our knee with our foot flat. We're pressing up towards the ceiling, almost like a donkey kick. We're inhaling to press. Now point the toe, exhale, bring the knee in and round the spine a little bit. So it'll feel a little bit like cat and cow, but the movement is not as big. Inhaling, flat foot, pressing up, donkey kick, maybe looking forward just a little bit. Again, it's not as much as cow pose. Pointing the toe, rounding the spine, just a tiny cat expression. Inhaling, pressing back. Exhaling, rounding in. This is called sunbird, the sunbird flow. Inhale, pressing back. Looking forward. Exhale, point the toe, bring it in. Just one more. Inhale, press. And exhale, point the toe, round the spine. Let's relax both knees, finding neutral spine. A couple cat and cows so that we're able to neutralize the spine before we do the other side. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. The movement's a little bigger than sunbird. Inhale, exaggerating that hinge back through the hips, softening the buttocks muscles. All of the power in this pose is in the belly. It's in the belly button. Let's do one more. Round the spine. Pull the belly button up. And now relax to neutral. Let's tuck our right toe under, keeping that right foot flat. We press that right foot up, inhaling with that donkey kick. Point the toe, exhale, round the spine. Sunbird expression. Inhale, flat foot, pressing up as if you're trying to push your foot flat to the ceiling. And now pointing the toe and rounding the spine. Inhaling, flat foot, push up, maybe squeeze the right buttocks muscle just a little bit. And now point the toe and relax through the buttocks and the hips. Pull the navel in. Inhaling, a little more power here, power up, press through the heel, squeeze that right glute. And now point the toe, relax. Let's do maybe just two more. Inhale, allowing that hip to open as we inhale. Contract the belly, close the hip on the exhale. Last one. Let's set both knees down. From here, you can keep your toes untucked or tuck both feet under. Let's press the hips back towards the heels. They may or may not touch your feet. We're working in a nice big stretch through the arches of the feet and stretching the low back, child's pose. Our hands might stay out in front of us, or they can come down. You could even put your head on a block or a pillow. At some point, maybe think about untucking the toes, continuing to sit back only as far as your knees give you permission to go back. This can be quite a lot of pressure on the knees. So listen to your knees. Try a couple of big exhales here. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale with a big sigh. Let's try two more. Big inhale. Big sigh. Last one. Really throw the breath out. Make a sound. We want to open that throat energy for healthy communication. When it feels right for you, let's shift forward. We're taking one foot forward into a kneeling lunge. And if you have a chair or something nearby, you may want to grab hold of it as we prepare to come up to standing. Let's take our hand onto that thigh for support, tucking our back toe. We might even put our other hand up on our thigh. Coming forward, we're pushing into our foot to lift that back knee and then come forward into a sort of a half standing position. We don't want to stand up too quick. This can irritate vertigo, blood pressure, just keeping ourselves from getting too dizzy. Let's shake our head yes. Turn it left and right. Let your body hang like a rag doll for a moment. Maybe even let the hips sway while you're standing loose. Continuing to sway the hips gently. You may notice that the weight is shifting in your feet. Let's come to a still point. We'll walk our hands onto our shins, pause. Knees are soft. We walk the hands up to the thighs, pause. Knees are soft. Keeping the hands on the thighs, push your hips back behind you, allowing the buttocks muscles to relax. The buttocks muscles might even spread a little bit, avoiding any clenching in that anal sphincter region. From here, we're slowly walking our hands up the body and coming into a standing position. When you're ready, take the feet out to the width of the hips and open the palms of your hands. On the next inhale, we're circling the arms up and overhead. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, use the elbows and pull back. It's almost like a good morning yawn. Inhaling, sweeping up, arms long, reaching with the fingertips. Exhaling, pull back with the elbows. We can always close our eyes when we do this, allowing different sensations to guide us through the movement. It could feel different on left and right in the shoulders. So making any mental notes as to how you might want to work around any tender spots in your body. Remembering that you don't have to do the same thing on both sides of your body. If we notice an imbalance, we may want to do a little less on one side or a little more on the other. That's okay. Let's do one more circle with the arms. Big inhale. Find the breath. Bend the elbows, exhale. From here, let's relax the hands down beside us. Bring the feet maybe just a little closer together than hips width distance. Let's open the palms, taking just the right elbow back. Circle it back, and then reach your arms straight up to the sky, reaching up with that right hand as if you're holding on to like 100 or 1,000 helium balloons, feeling as if there's an energy that pulls out of your armpit and ribs. Let your weight shift a little more into the right foot. Press down into the outer blade of that right foot. Now you can look up. This is very traditional, but it is also the most strenuous on your neck. You could also look ahead or over your left shoulder. There's plenty of time to experiment. For now, go with the path of least resistance. Where is there the least amount of distracting sensation from your neck? We want the neck to be comfortable so that we can really allow the body to focus on stretching on the right side. Now think about your breath. As you inhale, imagine you're breathing just into the upper right lung. So we're going to stay here maybe 2 or 3 more breaths, breathing into that upper right lung. Big inhale. Reach a little more at the top of the breath. On the exhale, naturally, there's going to be a little bit of retraction of that energy in your shoulder. One more, big inhale, or maybe 2 more breaths. Exhale, gently pulling in. One more, inhale. And then exhale, let's lower that right hand down. Inhaling, opening the left palm, circling that hand back and around. Let's reach straight up with the left hand towards the sky. You're rotating the palms if you're going to unscrew a light bulb and holding on to 1,000 helium balloons all at once. Inhaling at the top of the breath, feel your armpit stretch a little more. Pull up out from the rib and the armpit. Press into the outer left edge of your foot. So we're going to shift that weight a little more of an exaggerated step into that left foot. Big inhale, reposition your head. Definitely make sure that neck is comfortable. Any tension in the neck can create resistance in this stretch. So we want to relax that neck. Inhaling into the upper left lung. We take a big breath in as we reach. And then exhale, relax. 1 or 2 more. After this next breath, exhale, let's lower that hand down. From here, opening the palms, inhaling, bringing the hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, bring those arms straight up overhead, straight up with the hands, separate the hands. And on the exhale, take your arms back, that big circle again. Now bring the hands forward with the palms up and sit your hips back into chair. Inhaling, we're pulling the arms back, circling overhead. Exhaling from the elbow, pull back, palms come up and forward, and we sit the hips back, chair flow. Inhaling, circling, exhaling from the elbow, circle back, palms come through the sides of the body and reach forward as if you're holding a serving tray. Knees bend in the same direction as your toes as the hips go back. 2 more. Inhale, circle it up. Exhale with the elbow, bring it back and around. Last one. Inhale, bring both arms up and overhead. Walk the feet together so the toes are touching and heels are separated. As you exhale, come down a little bit towards the right. We're going to circle with the shoulders or rotate with the shoulders, bending the knees a tiny bit. Squeeze the knees together, hopefully touching or almost touching. Let's lower the left hand onto the right thigh. Then take the right hand, turn your thumb down, and put the knuckles by the low back. Let's look over that right shoulder. Maybe we deepen that sit back or deepen that squat just a little more into a twisting chair. As we inhale, we're breathing power. When you're ready, release both hands to your thighs. Maybe hold it here. Walk the hands down and completely relax your spine for a moment. Let's hang the head loose. Shake it yes, and turn it left and right. Come to a still point, body completely still. Big exhale. Let's walk the hands from the shins to the thighs. We push the hips back with a flat back. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Bend the knees. Let's take our right hand over to the left thigh, adding in that little twist from the belly button, the ribs, and the shoulders. Let's take our left hand, turn the thumb down, bending from the elbow, we're placing the knuckles of the left hand at the low back. Continuing to bend the knees, sit the hips back, and maybe draw that left shoulder back a little more so you open the upper left lung. Let's breathe into that left lung. Position your head wherever it's most comfortable. You could look down at the floor. You could look in the direction of your heart or look over that left shoulder. One more big breath. When you're ready, let's slowly unwind the spine. Hands to the thighs for support. We might want to hold it here as we relax the upper back and heart. Maybe those hands walk down a little more to the floor. Simply listening to the body, only going forward as much as your back and your spine allow you to. Practicing a big exhale, big inhale through the nose first. And now let that breath go. When you're ready, slowly walk the hands to the shins and then to the thighs. We pause, flat back. Safely coming up. Let's come all the way up to standing. Go ahead and shake out your feet. Shake out the hands. We're moving into our standing balancing pose today. And in this balancing pose, you could use a chair. It can be really helpful for this one. So the traditional name for this pose is a standing head to knee pose. And it involves holding your big toe. I know it looks like a lot, and I'm here to think about how do we adapt it so that it can meet our body where it is, and what might we be moving towards. So the pose in its entirety involves lifting one leg, and I'm lifting the same leg that is on the inside of my supports. So I have my chair on, I'm teaching mirror teaching, so chair on the right. This is my right leg. I'm taking my left hand down and holding onto my big toe, and then you would kick the leg out and turn a little bit to the right. Now that's the total pose. That's the traditional expression. Let's look at how to adapt it. The adaptive version involves lifting that inside leg, and maybe you just keep it really low. And we might want to take that left hand and put it under the right leg, under the right knee. If it feels more comfortable, keep the hand at your waist or at your hip with that leg lifted. From wherever we are, let's think about rotating, swiveling at the waist, just a little bit towards the right. And then maybe we begin to kick that right foot out. As an added layer, another way to experience the pose or to experiment, you could take your right hand off of the prop and maybe reach back behind you or reach that arm overhead. Breathing mostly into the upper right lung. Staying for maybe 5 to 10 breaths. You could always come out of the pose, tap the foot, and then tap that leg back up. At least 1 or 2 more big inhales. All the power is in the breath. It's not about the pose. It's always about the breath. Big inhale. When you're ready, let's find our support. Right hand comes down, heart to center. Let's step both feet into the floor. And maybe just kind of step onto both feet a little bit. You could even walk around the room a little bit. Allow the body to orient itself and find its center of gravity. When you're ready, let's think about how we might want to do that pose on the other side. My chair is on the left. I'm going to lift my left leg. Standing leg is soft, so my right knee has a little bit of a bend in it. There's a little like spring in that right knee, preventing injury, promoting healthy circulation. I am flexing or flattening my left foot. You can point your toe. For me, I like to flex the foot or flatten the foot because I know for me, it helps my knee to stay more stable. So if you've ever had knee issues in the past, maybe keep your foot flat. This is a technique to kind of pucker the muscles around your kneecap to prevent injury. We can keep that leg lifted with a hand at the hip, or take that right hand and put it under your left leg. Option to extend that leg out, twisting just a little bit to the left, not too much. Think less of the twist, more about the extension of the leg and balance. More about balance, less on twisting. Option to experiment. If you're just a little curious, maybe take that left hand away. You could have it out and look over your shoulder. We're staying about 5 to 10 breaths. So there's enough time to put the foot down and maybe lift it back up. Steady the breath in your upper left lung. One more big breath. And now exhale. Let's slowly come out of the pose. Both feet on the ground. Again, we may want to walk it off a little bit. All right, from wherever you are, if you want to grab a quick sip of water or maybe get some socks or a blanket, we are going into the final portion of our class where we stretch on the floor and we have final meditation as well. So go ahead and get comfortable. Coming down to seated on the floor from any easy seated position. Let's take our time and extend the legs out. Moving into a seated forward fold. So in this pose, we are allowing the body to round just a little bit. There's a side view of it. You can sit on a blanket. I think this helps a lot when it comes to creating comfort in the back. Keeping a little bend in the knees, we inhale and lift the heart. On the exhale, walking the fingertips towards the feet, keeping the heart lengthened over the toes. At some point, the body tells us when it's ready to relax. And at that point, we just gently allow the upper body to fold without effort. So very different from cat pose. In cat pose, we are exaggerating the rounding in the spine. We're using the stomach muscles. In this pose, it's meant to be very passive. If you're feeling a big stretch, that's not what we want. Instead, if you're feeling a big stretch, bring the hands in and just relax your head. Another way to do this pose would be to have a chair, or some of you are by your bed, you're by your couches and ottomans. You could reposition your legs and come forward like this instead. So this is not so much intended to be a muscular stretch or like a muscle or tendon reason. We're doing this for your kidneys, adrenal glands, and lymph nodes. We breathe down into the low back, through the middle back, and then again up under your shoulder blades. Relax your heart, your ribs, and your low back. When it feels right for you, take your sweet time. Slowly come up. Easy does it to stack the spine. Last of all, lifting the head and the neck. Let's take our time to lie down on the floor for final relaxation. We may want to bend the knees. Let those knees go to one side and find your props to get really comfy. If you have any type of shoulder or neck pain, I recommend a really high pillow or a couple blankets. And then you can pull your shoulder out from under the body. Maybe we stay lying on our sides, or you can roll all the way over onto your back if that feels better. Let's take at least a quiet minute for the body to get situated. The more we relax, the more we may need to kind of shuffle ourselves a little bit with our props. Our meditation today is a very simple visual meditation. We're attempting to stimulate the visual cortex. This is a specific part of the brain that can be a little more active when we are relaxed, when we're experiencing peace and tranquility. For this breathing technique today, as you inhale, on every in-breath, imagine you're breathing in a cool blue light. It's a shimmery blue, like a blue moon energy. And on every exhale, your body is releasing a warm gold light. So you're breathing in the energy of the moon, and you breathe out the energy of the sun. So the inhale is an expression of Chandra, moon energy. And that warm gold light on the exhale is the expression of Surya, sun energy. Continue to just see the color with the mind's eye. Breathe in blue, breathe out gold. Remember, if the breath is not making itself known to you in color, notice how else you're able to know the breath. Get to know it in a different way if the color's not showing up. Know it by how it feels, know it by how it sounds. Breathe in blue, breathe out gold. As we continue to breathe easy in our final relaxation and meditation, notice any part of your body that might be resisting relaxation. Are there any places that are achy? Any places that are speaking to you? Maybe as you breathe in that blue light, move it into that place. Let's soften that energy with the breath. If you're able to stay here a little longer today, maybe just allow yourself to stay. And you might even fall asleep. That's okay. Your body might need that right now. You don't necessarily have to sleep at night. You can most certainly take a little mid-morning or midday nap with this. From wherever you are, let's draw in a deep unifying breath, celebrating the day, celebrating the body, the spirit, celebrating the human experience. You're welcome to place the hands over your heart. In closing, as we close together, namaste, everyone. Have an absolutely lovely day. I'll see you in our next Yoga for Everybody session. Again, my name is Skyla Ramirez, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session.